Hey everybody, welcome back to Ancient Text Revealed. This is Dr. Heldman. My wife and I listen to an awful lot of online classes about Bible and stuff like that. And one of the teachers we were listening to the other day mentioned a scripture that I thought was really, really interesting. We're going to juxtapose it. It's found in Luke, but we're going to juxtapose it with the other Gospels and see what we can come up with. So this will be a short little movie. It won't take very long. But it is very, very interesting. So let's get started. So, in theology school, they have a class called Harmony of the Gospels. And the idea is that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John all basically go together. They're just told from different perspectives by different apostles, but they cover the same sort of information. It's really interesting. We took a class years ago with Dr. Chuck Missler, who has since passed away quite a while ago now, and he did a Harmony of the Gospels class. It was super interesting because he compared the personalities of the apostles to the text, and he made a table of it and all this stuff, and it really gave you the idea that, God is trying to get the Gospels across to you in such a way that it's very rotund, and there's a lot going on inside the Gospels, more than one person might write about. So it appears to me anyway that his intention with the Gospels was to bring forth this word, but also to add different elements to it in a way to clarify it, or maybe to even expand on it. And so that's what we're talking about here. So now I'm a big believer in the end times. I love eschatology. That's the study of the end times. And my wife and I watch an awful lot of YouTubes and stuff like that. We go to conferences, things like that, about the end times. And I think we are definitely living in the end times. So the big keynote scripture chapter is Matthew 24 that talks about this. And so on the screen there, you're looking at Matthew 24, verses 7 and 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. And you can see here I'm using Blue Letter Bible. If I have the little function thing here, I point to it, and it says that certain texts omit pestilences. So this is a Greek text that's authorized, and it omits the word pestilences. And then earthquakes in various places. And all these are the beginning of sorrows. And we could exegete that too. We could click this link here, go down and find pestilences, and see what we have here. There it is. The word is iomos. I'll play it for you.
Strong's G 3061. Loimas. Loimas.
Loimas, it's a lambda there. It looked like an I down here, but it's actually a lambda. So it's loimas. And I'll go in here and we'll take a look at the Strong's real quick. And the Strong says, this word is of uncertain affinity. It means a plague, a disease, figuratively a pest. And so they go on to give you some information about this loimas. So that's the concept. If I'm going to go back, I'll go back here and show you the scripture again. For nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. So that's our keynote scripture, Matthew 24. Now let's take a look at Mark 13. So Mark 13:8 says, For nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. And now it says troubles. So this word troubles is omitted in the NU text. And it says, these are the beginning of sorrows. So let's see what it says about what troubles entails. So we'll do the exegesis on the word troubles and see what we come up with. And it is a completely different word.
Strong's G 5016. Tarache. Tarache.
Tarache. Got to get that CH, that guttural in there. Let's go take a look at this. So this is a disturbance and a commotion. A metaph. I don't know what a metaph is. A tumult, a sedition. Oh, sedition, huh? Well, now this is very, very interesting in terms of what's going on around the world in light of all of the things that are going on, this makes a lot of sense. Maybe it's like a roiling, a disturbance like of water, a roiling, or of a mob sedition. So that's very, very interesting. That adds a little more flavor to this scripture now, because now what we're doing is we're crosswalking the Gospels and we're taking a look at the scripture to see what it says, and we're calling out more information from the scripture based upon what we're reading here in Mark. Now let's take a look at Luke. This is very interesting. I'll back this up here so we're back on the original one. Luke 21:11 is the key scripture that I wanted to point out to you today. It says, "And there will be great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences." So we're including everything that was included in Matthew. And you notice there's no FN here, so it's not telling you that the NU text does away with the word pestilences in the case of the Luke scripture. So let me read this, what this NU text means. So if you encounter it when you're going through Blue Letter Bible and you click on that little FN thing and it says, oh, NU text omits this, it stands for, and I can't pronounce this very well, the Nestle Aland Novum Testamentum Graece, and the U means United Bible Society's Greek New Testament. Now what this really means, the NU is the oldest, most, there's a consensus there that it's the best Greek manuscript. So the fact that something's omitted from the NU text might be meaningful to you. It might be, oh, well, why isn't this in the oldest one around, the most respected one around? That's what NU text means, but it's not here. So we saw that in Matthew, we go to this little FN thing and it says NU text omits pestilences in Matthew. And then in the Mark one, we found that it omits troubles. However, when we get to Luke 21:11, it does not omit those. I think that's very, very interesting, and something that I, as someone who's interested in this, would want to explore it more. But here's what I really wanted to point out. "And there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven." Well, now that adds quite a bit more drama to what we're talking about here, because if we're talking about fearful sights and great signs from heaven, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the sun doing something? Are we talking about, these UFOs that are going to come land on the earth? What is going on here? So let's go take a look at fearful sights and great signs. The first thing we always do when we're looking at scriptures like this is we exegete them. And then what's happened now is that, these natural language model AI engines are really good for helping you stare and compare. That's not a very good word, but stare and compare and figure out, get at the meat of what this is really saying. And you could do a cross comparison across versions, which we'll do in a minute. But let's go do an exegesis on this. Fearful sights and great signs from heaven. So we come down here and we're looking for great fearful sights. There it is. Phobitron. Quite the word.
Strong's G 5400. Phobitron. Phobitron.
I assume that's where we get the word phobia from. And so let's go take a look at what the word means. And it says it's a fearful sight, just like it was interpreted, that which strikes terror, a cause of fright. Well, now, what's going to come out of the heavens that might cause terror? A terror of fright, like an asteroid, a comet, I don't know. It's just very, very interesting. It's a frightening thing. It's a terrific portent, meaning it bodes very badly for you and I. That's the point that this is trying to make here. That's super interesting. Well, let's go back and look up the other one. So we got fearful sights. And let's go look up signs here.
Strong's G 4592. Semayon. Semayon.
So that's the word signs, and it's coupled with great, which is mega. And we're undoubtedly familiar with the idea of mega because we work with computers so much. So mega just means great. So great signs. Let's go see what this signs thing is all about. And we're looking in here. And it says it's a sign, a mark, or a token. that by which a person or thing is distinguished from others and is known. Oh, well, now, a sign, a prodigy, a portent, there's that word portent again. An unusual occurrence transcending the common course of nature, of signs portending remarkable events soon to happen, of miracles and wonders by which God authenticates the man sent by him, or by which men prove that the cause they are pleading is God's. Now this is very interesting. So knowing this now, let's go back and look at the scripture a little bit more deeply. So here it is. There will be great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences. All three talk about that. And there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven. So I think personally what I take out of this initial exegesis is that God is going to talk to us, and he's going to give us fearful sights. And we're not going to like the portent of those fearful sights. Now, understanding eschatology the way that I do, I don't know if born-again Christians are going to be involved in these fearful sights. But I do know that these sights are going to happen. That's the point that I'm trying to make there. Now, what we can do is we can look at some other scriptures. Like there's a Bible that I like called LSB. And let's take a look and see what that says there. So I click the go button. There will be great earthquakes in various places, famines and plagues, and there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. And if I click the function key, attesting to miracles. Miracles. Wow, this is very interesting. And let's take a look at just one more just to see what it looks like. I'll go with the CSB and change to that. And there will be violent earthquakes and famines and plagues in various places, and there will be terrifying sights and great signs from heaven. So here's my thinking. If I'm being honest with you, I think UFOs are from Satan. I think that these are demonic entities in these craft. I think they're designed to deceive the nations. The enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy. He does it through deception and delusion. And so a lot of us are deluded into thinking that these UFOs came from another planet somewhere, and I don't think they did. I think that this is a manifestation of demonic spirits that are doing these things. So it would be a terrifying sight to see a UFO, especially if we thought that it was being piloted by demonic forces or wicked and evil spirits. But it does say here there will be terrifying sights. Now you can imagine what those sights might be. An asteroid, Apophis, for example. I don't know if you've heard of that. You should do some research on Apophis. It's due to come around in the next couple of years. What are great signs from heaven? The sun is misbehaving. You know, we have a comet that goes through and comes very, very close. It's hard to say. Asteroids actually hitting the Earth, I don't know. But my point here is that using the technique of the harmony of the Gospels, we can go from verse to verse to verse, and we can also go from book to book to book. Let's do one more. Let's look at ESV and see what it says. There will be great earthquakes, and in various places famines and pestilences, and there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. Now, I don't know that these are UFOs, because it seems like the terrors are coming from God, from heaven. So I'm not sure. I leave that for you to decide, but I think it's very, very interesting. What say you? What do you think? Well, listen, if you're enjoying these movies, love you for enjoying it. Thank you. And subscribe, please. I'm trying to grow this channel. I'm not a pastor. I do some teaching. I do teach Sunday school at my church, but what I'm really interested in is these kinds of things where I'm getting into the deeper part of the Word, trying to help others understand the deeper part of the Word. And if you're enjoying these movies, these videos, I'd love it if you would like this one, if you would subscribe to my channel, tell others about it so I can grow the channel, and leave comments. Comments are more than welcome. I get a lot of good comments from people. And so, you know what? God bless you, and I wish you a very, very good day. Take care.